Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. It is Friday. Made it to the end of the week. I'm Lana Harris. This is the First Alert Desk. Want to make sure you are caught up on all the stories making headlines as you go into the weekend. There's a lot going on, and we're going to talk about a cool event happening this weekend as well to round you all out with that. But let's hop into it. The first story is one that we've been following for years. It's really a horrible story. We got a major update coming today. Okay, so we're talking about 4 years ago when there was really just that gruesome discovery in Forsyth County. A baby found alive in a plastic bag on the side of a road. People were shocked when they found her. They heard her cries and ran to help and saw her there in the bag on the road. Now, thankfully, she is okay, but the case really just captured global attention. A lot of people were concerned, wondering who could do something like this. Well, finally, again, 4 years later today, we are expected to learn who's been arrested in connection with really leaving that poor baby there to die. So we've got some video there for you to show you what they found on the side of the road. Look, the umbilical cord is still intact there. Those people just ran in there to help. You probably remember this was body cam video from June of 2019 when this happened. So a family in a nearby home was first to hear the baby crying, and deputies responded and found a baby that looked like it was just a few hours old at that point. Someone had put that baby in a plastic bag, left the bag in some woods off to the side of Daves Creek Road, which is just south of Cumming. And you can see
When we flip the bath mat over
here. And first responders took her to a hospital, and the staffers there just named her baby India. When word got out, people around the country were offering to adopt her, and she is now 4 years old. So it's good to know that she's doing well. We don't know who ended up adopting her or where she lives now, but we want to take you back to what homeowner Alan Ragetz told us after discovering the baby, and also what one of the responding deputies said.
when we flipped the bath mat over, there was a little baby wrapped up in a plastic bag, and that was a tough part. And we opened it up, and she was crying, so she was healthy.
You know, your fatherly instinct kicks in. You just want to show love to a child that had never known it before. The only thing that she had known was being in a bag.
Yeah, I'm sure they were scared themselves finding this poor child in that condition. So again, the news conference is scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon. Representatives from the GBI and the FBI will be in attendance. Of course, we will as well. We'll be able to share with you what happens there, both on air and on our Atlanta News First app. We'll be streaming that for you as well. Atlanta News First app is free, by the way, if you haven't had a chance to download that yet. Okay, so pit maneuvers. Are you aware what those are? Police do them all the time when they're in a chase situation. Okay, so it stands for precision immobilization technique. So it can be really effective, but it can also be pretty dangerous as well, and it can even be deadly. Okay, so that's kind of the concern that we're hearing right now. So this is what that looks like. If you've never heard of it, you kind of tap part of the car and the car goes spinning and it comes to a stop. Just last week, in fact, a Forsyth County sheriff's deputy used it during a chase where speeds reached 140 miles an hour. 19-year-olds were in that car, and so they were stopped. But not every attempt ends in a positive way. And today, in fact, several mothers will be at the state capitol calling for law enforcement to ban the maneuver after their sons were killed. One of them was just 12 years old. His name was Leadon Boykins. He was a passenger in a car that was driven by a neighbor, Charlie Wilson Moore, back in 2021. He fled a traffic stop. It led to a chase. Officers used that pit maneuver, and it caused the vehicle to flip, and Leadon was killed. Still, law enforcement officials defend this tactic. They say it's a beneficial method when drivers are being risky to other people who are on the road. Now, back in 2016, the Georgia Department of Safety said in some situations, the reasonable choice is for officers to call off a chase altogether. But in the moment, the decision to pursue and use the pit maneuver is up to the officers. So families of those who have lost loved ones in the process want something to change. And today, we are going to be able to hear what exactly they want to see happen. So we'll be on top of that for you and share that with you as it happens today in all of our newscasts. Meanwhile, this is something we can all get on top of. I don't care what party you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care who you are. The robocalls have to stop. Okay? Because they're getting ridiculous. You could probably scroll through your phone, find a handful of just numbers you don't know, and that's probably one of them. Apple did us all a favor when they started marking them as possible scam or spam, but they're still just annoying, right? So according to YouMail, Americans actually received 4.5 billion robocalls just in April, okay? Just the month of April alone. It is relentless. So last week, the Federal Communications Commission actually shut a company down that was behind millions of those calls. But the hammer could soon come down on call providers that don't meet the deadline to implement new call authentication technology. That deadline is actually in June, so pretty soon. Now, most providers have already adopted this tech. It's called Stir Shaken, and it basically just validates a real call and stops fake numbers. Now, we can say the CEO of robocall blocking app Umail says criminals have found a workaround to this by just going out and getting real numbers. So experts now say Congress needs to join this effort. In fact, the chairwoman says updating laws created more than 30 years ago could stop spam calls for good. We don't really care what you need to do. We just want them to be stopped, right? So we'll update you when there is something further on that story there. Okay, this one is just ridiculous to me. There's another Target that's been set on fire in our community. Not the last one and not the one before that, a new one. It just happened again yesterday, really middle of the afternoon. This happened in Brookhaven. The good news is the suspect in this incident is behind bars, okay? So police say the suspect went into a dressing room and just started lighting things on fire. Now, luckily it was contained because a Target employee, saw it, smelled it, just used the fire extinguisher and put that out. So the store was able to reopen later on in that day. Don't know why anybody would be possessed to set things on fire in a store, but it is just the latest in a string of arsons at Metro Atlanta retail stores. We are not sure yet if this one is related to the others. We have asked police about that, but you probably remember in January, a fire broke out inside the Target in Buckhead on Piedmont Road. Then 2 months later, another fire set at a different Buckhead location that was on Peachtree Street. There have also been 4 intentionally set fires at Walmart's stores dating back from last May through December. So, can y'all stop? Just respectfully, a plea from your friendly neighborhood anchor/reporter. Please stop setting our stores on fire. It's really inconveniencing to a lot of people and dumb and could hurt somebody. Okay, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, we got a really cool option. We're talking about the 2023 Lantern Parade. Here's some video from last year. It's so cool. Lots of colors. Lots of happiness. This is, again, last year. Pretty cool. The event is an opportunity to check out the Beltline's West End. It's actually the second year it's going to be on the West End, and now it's exclusively held on this side of the Beltline, and organizers are hoping it'll help you discover it. So festivities will go on throughout the day. What are you laughing at? Courtney's laughing at me. Festivities are going on throughout the day. The bulk of the fun will start at 6 p.m., though, at Adair Park. So starting at Adair Park, ending at Lee and White, live music, several breweries, good time. Here's the question. Will it be raining on you? That's what I don't know. Whew. Good thing we got a meteorologist here who can answer that. This weekend's not going to be great, Courtney.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not. And I feel like that's been a sentiment for the whole year so far. 2023 really needs to chill with the rainy weekends.
Right?
Because how are people supposed to thrive like that? I don't know. This weekend's not going to be any different, unfortunately. Going to be quite rainy. We do have a first alert for Saturday. Because of rain, first alerts, by the way, just in case you're new to this, they're essentially a heads up to give you just an early forewarning that there is going to be some sort of nuisance weather for you. And rain is clearly a nuisance when you are trying to go about your weekend plans. I am First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Lots going on this weekend. We have parades. We have Braves back in town. We have weddings going on. I have a couple of friends going to weddings across town, so you probably want to know the forecast, right? Well, I'll tell you off the bat, it's going to be rainy, especially the second half of the day. We have another cold front that's going to move in, and you might be saying, oh my gosh, what is this, like the third cold front this week? Yeah, it is springtime. They kind of roll in on a conveyor belt this time of year. That's why spring is usually so active. That's why it's a very, like a bullseye for severe weather. And we do have the chance for severe storms tomorrow as well. Got lots to cover, clearly, so let's get right on into it. In the meantime, today, you might have noticed over Truist Park there, where the Braves are back in town after being away for a few days. They're about to be in town for, I believe, 10 days. They have a few series here at home. So if you want to go check them out, I'll tell you what nights are the best ones. But you might notice it's cloudy out there this morning as you stepped out the door. It was cool. It was probably a little misty for you. It was windy. And that's all thanks to what we call a backdoor cold front. So backdoor cold fronts move in from northeast and push to southwest rather than most cold fronts which move in from northwest and push off to the southeast. Well, now we have what we call a wedge building in. An area of high pressure has settled in behind this. It's kind of locking in some of that moisture in the lower levels that usually creates these cooler, cloudy and misty conditions when we have this kind of setup, when you already have moisture in place. So overall, a cloudy but comfy day today. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s for the afternoon. But we do have that first alert tomorrow as another cold front, this one that will move in from northwest and push off to the southeast, rolls in. It'll bring scattered storms. That is a first alert, so a heads up that storms are on the way tomorrow. And unfortunately, it looks like they could linger into Sunday now as well. There is a lot of fine tuning to do with this forecast. Unfortunately, we're dealing with an upper level feature. It's called an upper level low, and models sometimes can struggle on where those are going to set up. And that's going to be really key to our forecast in the coming days to determine how long that rain will stick around. But again, today, cloudy skies for most of the day. I think we'll see a few peaks of sunshine as we head into the afternoon hours, with temperatures climbing into the mid 70s, low 70s if you're north of the city. The wind that you probably had to deal with on your ride to work and school this morning, that will die down through the day. So not going to be quite as windy as we head into the afternoon hours. Overall, pretty comfortable day by late May standards. May 19th, I guess technically is late May, right? Again, mid 70s, upper 70s if you're south of the city, with those mostly cloudy skies. Most importantly, we're going to stay dry today, so enjoy that. If you are heading to the Braves game tonight at 7:20 over at Truist Park, this is a comfortable night for some May baseball here in North Georgia. 75 by 5 o'clock if you're maybe going to go out to the Battery, grab some dinner beforehand, see all the festivities. If you've been to one of the games before, you know that they have all the bands out that are playing. Their drum line is amazing. They always have some sort of entertainment outside, so if you haven't been to one of the games, tonight would be a great night to go. Playing the Seattle Mariners. At 8 o'clock after first pitch, we'll be in the low 70s, and by 10 o'clock, we'll be in the mid to upper 60s. So a little on the cool side as you're leaving the park, but overall, pretty nice night. Not 90, feeling like 100 just yet, but those days are coming, I'm sure, over at the ballpark. So tomorrow we do have that first alert, not only for the widespread scattered rain, but we also have the chance for maybe an isolated severe storm. The only spot that's kind of null from this are the Georgia mountains. Otherwise, everyone's pretty much fair game for an isolated strong storm, with gusty wind, heavy rain, and frequent lightning being the threats in that. We're not worried about a tornado threat, not necessarily worried about a hail threat. We could maybe have some small hail, but I don't think anything that would warrant to be at severe limits, which, by the way, just for your knowledge, 1-inch diameter hail would warrant a severe thunderstorm warning. So I don't think we'll see anything quite that big. So as we go into tomorrow morning looks fairly dry. It's going to be the afternoon when that front moves in. Now, this is going to be a pretty slow moving front. Unfortunately, with this wedge built in, I think that's going to kind of impede this front from moving in as quick as we originally anticipated. When you have a wedge in place, that makes forecasting just 20 times harder. Wedges are very difficult to forecast, and so models struggle with them because they are not necessarily the easiest features for them to pick up on. Either way, all you need to know, with that in place, this front's going to move a little slower, which is ultimately going to linger the rain around a little longer. So if you have any Saturday afternoon and evening plans, going to be a bit on the rainy side. Again, we also could have an isolated severe storm. Now, I will say this is just one model. A lot of the models have been struggling with agreeing on what's going to happen, but most are saying that the afternoon and evening is going to be the prime target for showers and thunderstorms. Here's 8 o'clock again. If you have any evening plans, you might get wet. Now, the models have been changing a lot, so you're going to want to stay tuned to the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Jen Valdez will have your forecast at noon. And then, of course, we have our weather team here all evening. I'll be here tomorrow morning, so you'll definitely want to tune in, especially tomorrow morning. Closer you get to an event, usually the more accurate the models get. So in the meantime, expect the chance for some showers to linger into Sunday morning, maybe even some heavy rain. It does look like we could have maybe a few scattered showers linger for Sunday, but Sunday afternoon will be mainly dry. You'll probably want to keep an umbrella on standby, though, for Sunday. Saturday, again, is that first alert for the chance for rain. Temperatures near 80 over the weekend, and unfortunately, we're going to keep the chance for rain even into Sunday. Now, taking a look at our 7-day forecast, you're going to see that we have a chance for rain Monday and Tuesday. Models are not in good agreement on Monday's rain chance, one well more aggressive than the other. We talked about that upper level low. This time of year, you'll have cold fronts move through, and what we're going to be watching for is where exactly this front stalls out. Where is it going to set up? Will it set up along the coast? Will it completely clear the coast? That's going to be important to our forecast because this time of year, as we head closer to hurricane season, yes, I said it, hurricane season, June 1st, everybody, you'll get these upper level lows to kind of spin up along along them, and models are hinting that we're going to see this upper level low form along this front. Why is that important to our forecast? If the upper level low stays off the coast, we'll be on the back side of it. So that's actually drier air, and that would be great for us. But if that upper level low sets up over us, if that front stalls a little further north, that's going to keep us quite rainy. So there's a lot of fine tuning to do next week when it comes to the rain chance, but just know we're going to head into quite the unsettled pattern starting Saturday, and that will linger into at least Tuesday. We're still going to stay fairly cloudy Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures near 80 degrees both days, but at least the rain's keeping us a little cooler. We're not going to be scorching hot. It'll be pretty comfortable for this time of year. Our average high is in the low 80s this time of year, so we'll be close to that a couple of days. But overall, unsettled forecast pattern. Get ready for it. That first alert tomorrow, great idea to have the first alert weather app if you don't already have it. It'll let you know when heavy rain is in your area, when thunderstorms are in your area, and with this forecast just kind of ever evolving, it's a good idea to have as you make your way out and about over the weekend and get ready for one of the last weeks of school for students. I can't believe summer break is already here. I envy you, students. Where's summer break for the adults? That's all I got to say about that. All right, everyone. Enjoy the day today. I know it's not going to be the most beautiful day, but it will still be fairly comfortable because the rain does return tomorrow, and then we kick off a little unsettled stretch of weather. Again, this forecast is ever-changing, so make sure to tune in with us throughout the day to get an update on your forecast. I hope you make it a wonderful Friday, and enjoy the day, everyone, and enjoy your weekend despite the rain.